Welcome to the world of Level Up Weekly, a bounteous, open podcast filled with amazing loot, legitimately challenging enemies, but not too difficult to defeat, and of course, the EXP. Join our fellow big headphone adventurers Dylan the Dude and Spurnaday as they journey on a quest to find the EXP from gaming news and discussion. Hello everybody, welcome to Level Up Weekly, your weekly XP for gaming news, and happy 2018 to our fellow listeners here on wherever you're listening to us from, whether it's on Podbean or on iTunes or on WRHC or on WHZ, if you're on 106.7 or 93.5, or if you're on Podbean or if you're on iTunes. I already said that part already, whatever, but happy 2018 to all of you beautiful listeners out there, and also Happy New Year, Dylan.
Woo!
That was pure excitement right there, guys. The woo.
I know, I was practicing.
The portrayal of what 2017 felt like. Whoa! That's all.
But we are here in a great 2018, and we have a lot of great content prepared for all of you lovely and loyal listeners here in the year of 2018. Like our wonderful Jordan Sfernaday Briny over there had stated, we are on Podbean, iTunes, Patreon, Twitter, Twitch, WRHC 106.7 FM, and WRHZ 93.5 FM, which you can, of course, hear at radioharborcountry.org or through the TuneIn Radio app, and we'll have so much more coming for you this week, next week, and all the weeks going throughout the year.
Indeed. We thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us, guys. It is always a pleasure to be in front of you. One of the things that's going to be interesting today, we're going to kind of look back at 2017, and I know some of you didn't have your best year, you didn't have your favorite year, but you know what? That's okay, because it's 2018. Your New Year's resolutions are kicking in that you're going to keep track of until February, and right now, it's a good life right now, because you're off to a fresh start. It's 2018. It's time to have some fun. You probably still hate yourself after New Year's Eve, but hey, don't we all?
I mean, it was a kind of a mixed bag, this 2017 was. But if there's any one great thing to look at for our 2017 recap, it would be we're here, and we are on even more platforms than before. So we'll continue bringing you great content, and forget all the woes or negative things that happened in 2017, and be more positive. Remember the good, and continue looking at the good going on to the next year.
We blessed you on this radio platform to have our existence be there. That sentence doesn't make any sense, so I'm just going to not say it again. But it is a blessing to be here over on WRHC and WRHC. We're glad to be family members of this group here. It has been a great pleasure. That's one of just our many different platforms that we actually put ourselves on this year. Dylan mentioned them. I mentioned them earlier, but just to kind of really put them out there and just say what we've been up to. You know, we've got our Twitter page now. You can check us out at Level Up Weekly. You can support us over on Patreon if you'd like to. You know, we have our Twitch page at twitch.tv/Level Up Weekly, which, by the way, we'll have some announcements coming up later on in the show to talk about some format changes here to potentially show you guys. Because technically, this marks season 4. Because, I mean, Dylan and I just figured new year, new us, as everyone cliche says during this time of year. So we figured, why not just make what we called season 3, and for you listeners technically on the radio, season 1. This is basically our season 4 going forward here. So what we're gonna do, is just kind of go over and recap 2017. We're gonna cover some news for you. We're gonna talk to you beautiful listeners, and we're just gonna be here to have a good time. Isn't that right, Dylan?
Absolutely. And of course, I'd like to thank everyone who has given us a great year last year and will continue to give us a great one this year, including some of our followers on Patreon. Of course, you can find us at patreon.com/levelupweekly, and love to give a great thanks to them. But, we are a part of a family here on WRHC and WRHZ LP 106.7 and 93.5. I know we can't say that enough, but we really
It's
did.
only been like 5 times, right?
I know, right? But we've also done great work elsewhere. And one of those places where we've done great work is with Level Up FTK.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't really know us here, we like to be on the interwebs. We like to play games. We like to have fun. It's the main reason that this show started out in the first place. Dylan and I were just like, hey, we talk about video games too much. Why don't we make a show out of it? And therefore, it birthed Level Up Weekly. But one of the things that was a side branch of it was I originally came up with a charity team is what it's called. It is called Level Up FTK, and FTK stands for the kids. One of the main things that I got to do 4 years ago now, technically 5 because this is 2018, is I got to learn on what Extra Life, more importantly Children's Miracle Network Hospital does, and it was just really cool to be able to support what they do and what hospitals they support with. And we chose to support Helen DeVos Children's Hospital because Helen DeVos has had some history with, of course, Dylan's brother, correct?
Absolutely. My younger brother Lennon Lang has been going to the Helen DeVos Hospital for so many years due to him having many things, mostly for his childhood type 1 diabetes, which they have been great, tremendous help. And just this last year, 2017, was a great year for him because thanks to Helen DeVos, he was able to finally get an insulin pump properly working with his body and with his system. And it's been a tremendous godsend to him. So I personally want to thank Helen DeVos Children's Hospital for helping my brother out with that and putting him on a path where he can live as normally as anyone else can now, despite his severe illness of type 1 diabetes.
Yeah, and it's a cool thing to see these kind of success stories comes out. I mean, one of the things that I remember was 3 years prior, they sent us a charity package, which was basically production videos and other little things that they allowed us streamers to be able to use to kind of convey the point of why exactly we're helping to raise money for Extra Life. And I remember that they sent us this package of videos that portrayed anything from I remember one was a little girl who got shot with an arrow, and when she got shot with an arrow, some complication happened in her leg that basically prevented her from walking, and a children's hospital was able to successfully perform surgery and thus allow her to walk again, which then eventually allowed her to play sports again. So that was a really touching story to me. There's some other ones that are on there as well, but that was, there's a couple other ones that stuck with me. I wish they would do that again. But anyway, what we're kind of getting with here is that this year was just a tremendous year in general. One of the things that I loved about it was that we raised our record. We stayed up for our record of running a 36-hour marathon on Twitch. And then in addition to that, another raised $1,500 over that whole circumstance. It was an amazing experience to be a part of.
How did we do that? We raised $1,501 and we stayed up for a full 36 hours to do it. It still blows my mind that we were able to do that this last year, 2017. And definitely probably one of the highlights for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was just a cool thing. We decided to, instead of doing a 24-hour, we ran 36 hours just to, kind of be one of those kids that's a part of Extra Life and is like, haha, we went past the 24 hours and had some fun with it. But more importantly, we learned that it's nice to have that extra little window during that daytime where viewers will come back in and start watching you again. So we figured that was going to be an advantageous result for us, and it was. Again, that's nearly a triple of an increase that we had last year. We raised roughly about, if I recall, about $600, and so this year going up to $1,500 and $1. The $1 is a very important part.
It really is,
and it's a cool thing that we've done what we've done for Extra Life, but that kind of puts us into a transition. Before, let me say one more thing about it, and then I'll talk about our transition idea. So we were top 850 out of the thousands of people that actually went out and streamed for Extra Life. So again, thank you to everybody that donated, that watched, that promoted, that talked to people about it. Just thank you so much for helping. Thank you so much for our supporters and our sponsors and just everybody that came out, helped us, and had a great time with us. We really appreciate it. The other thing that I thought was kind of crazy, is that FTK was an inspiration to this idea. And, Dylan and I had a 4:30 in the morning meeting, end of the year meeting. It wasn't,
of course,
because
you had to break in the new year in a good way.
So
Four and a half,
Happy New Year.
or 4:30 in the morning meeting.
So we decided, hey, we might as well talk about this year. And one of our ideas is that we don't necessarily want to do just Level Up for the kids this year. This year, we want to just make it so that it's about charity in general. So this year, we're launching Level Up for Charity, which is basically what we did for FTK, but it's going to be for a second cause to that same construction. We are still contemplating of what that cause is going to be, but just know and mark your calendars in March and mark your calendars in August, some Saturday coming forward, then you might want to check us out. We're going to have another charity run fundraiser, and we're going to have 2 different causes this year versus just one in of itself here for Extra Life, and more importantly for Helen DeVos. So it's going to be an exciting thing about that for sure.
And we have a few ideas that we're kind of mulling around for exactly which charity we will do for that in March. But let's see if we can open this up to some of our listeners, see if they have any good ideas. And hey, getting more ideas, more options is never a bad thing. So if you're wherever you're listening to us here on WRHC, WRHZ, Podbean, iTunes, whether you're on our Patreon, go on Twitter or even Twitch, leave us a comment, leave us a message, send us an email, do whatever, and give us some ideas, give us some suggestions. Who knows? We might just pick your cause.
Yeah, again, Twitter is at Level Up Weekly. Feel free to add us there, to DM us, and of course our email is levelupweekly@gmail.com if you want to get personally in touch with us. If you personally know me or Dylan, you probably know how to contact us, but I'm not going to give you my phone number on the radio, so knock it off.
But no, here. Jordan, I'll give him your phone number, 555-555-5555.
How did you know I had all 5s?
Because I have your number, genius.
I'm blocking you on every site I ever have you on, ever. I'm taking you off my MySpace page, just so you know.
No, not my MySpace.
It seems to be our running joke whenever we want to just remove the other person from our social media list. We're just like, I'm just going to take you off of MySpace and I'm done with you.
Why are we so mean? We aim for the most important place you could aim for. Like Facebook, doesn't matter. Twitter, what's a Twitter? But MySpace, it's like the one place that will always exist. It will always matter.
Listen, I don't want to put my face in a book, and I don't want to talk about no dang blue birds. I want to talk about my personal private space, MySpace. So that's why I make the threat to tell people I'll take them off my MySpace page. Anyway, we have very intellectual conversations here. Thank you for tuning in. But before we continue to threaten each other about taking us off of each other's MySpace page, another thing to really just, go back on, we mentioned it before, but it's a cool thing to acknowledge the work that you put in and see the results come out of it. Just to understand that we have our own personal domain now. Last year, 2016, more specifically, I think the thing to me that was kind of crazy was when we were running this in 2016, we had a Twitch account, but that was really about it. So to go in and now be part of our Podbean, which is our own personal domain where you can see all our old episodes at, and have a supporting Patreon page, to have our show be on iTunes, which is a phenomenal thing to think about. And now you can follow us on Twitter at Level Up Weekly. All right, now that I keep saying this, I feel like I'm promoting this too much, so I'm going to stop talking about this.
And don't forget, we are Level Up Weekly on blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But
I feel like half of the people have tuned out because they've said, you have said Twitter at least 7 times in this episode. Hey, listen, I like to be proud of what I built, okay? I like to be happy to know that I made something nice. But we talked about Level Up for Charity. We talked about our feats and accomplishments this year. And again, thank you to everybody that has listened and has viewed our show, that has seen us on the radio, that has seen us in person, that has been to our Twitch streams, which also then brings me to my next cool announcement, which is coming up this Saturday. Saturday. We are going to. Did the echo get louder? How does that work? This Saturday. Who just yelled in the background?
It's like it echoes, but then the cave is like a round cave, so it just goes all the way around and just comes back as loud as it was.
2018 resolved for us to really kind of push new resolutions to ourselves here at Level Up Weekly Productions. And one of the main things that we wanted to focus on was we wanted to build our brand on Twitch a little bit better than we did last year. If you don't recall, we mainly just did a lot of audio recording, and audio recording went right over to WRHC and to Podbean and iTunes. But this year, what we want to do is we want to kind of have a fun little schedule slate for you. So here's what we're going to do. Tuesday is last week's recording that's going to show on twitch.tv/Level Up Weekly. So like, for example, if it was this Tuesday, you would have seen episode 17. So just think about it the week before that aired, whatever. So on Thursday, we go live here at 9 o'clock. If you're here, hi. If you're not, hey. But what we're also going to do is on Twitch, we're also going to broadcast the show then as well. And then on Saturday, we're going to have our what I kind of just nickname as our freelance stream, which is Dylan or myself or both of us. We're going to go out, we're going to stream, we're going to have some fun, and we're going to talk about stuff. It's going to be I want to say it's off the chain, but I feel like people don't say that anymore. But
it's in his house.
Oh, goodness. We need to stop right now. But anyway,
we're funky fresh dog.
We need to stop. I think we're causing issues. But no, on Saturdays in the evenings, we're going to be tuning in and just playing classic video games, current video games, just a general slew of video games over on Twitch. Have some fun with us. Go grab yourself a coffee, grab yourself a drink, go grab yourself some water, make some lasagna, eat spaghetti, have a cake, do whatever you want. But anyway, just get over to twitch.tv/Level Up Weekly, and you will check us out over there, and we'll be playing some games, having some fun.
We'll play everything from Cuphead to Crazy Taxi or to Rocket League, which is honestly a lot like Crazy Taxi whenever Jordan or I play it.
Hey, thanks.
To whatever games, even ones that you recommend, actually. As a little bit of on-air shooting the breeze, Jordan, who knows? Maybe that could be one of our Patreon features.
Where they have to specifically... Okay, sure. Why not?
But,
let's just make it a thing.
Specific game to play, and
I'm going to tell you right now, you tell me to play Cuphead, though, and I'm not liable if I don't finish that game because I'm mad.
I thought... Remember your resolution, Jordan. Remember. Don't get salty during competitive Overwatch. I guess that means you can get salty at anything else, though.
No, that just means that I have to be more passive-aggressive and not mean at people. I think that's that's going to end up turning into. I'll be like, hey, guys, good game. Glad you guys threw. See ya.
Some guy is one-tricking Torbjorn. Wow, Torb, great job. You did a fantastic job healing and putting your turret facing a wall. Great job, man.
Yeah, well done, man. Well done. I didn't report you because you did so well. I'm proud of you. But, so yeah, check us out. Tuesday will be our VOD from the previous week. Thursday, we'll show it live at the same time we show it on the radio. That way you guys get some fun. As a note, by the way, those 2 episodes will be audio recordings. You will see them on Twitch. We'll have some graphics up for little things on there, but mainly it's something you could throw on a web browser and, check out, have some fun, on your car. I forgot what our one scenario was we painted in 2017, but I think it was like on a truck in the middle of nowhere by a cliff. I don't even remember what we did.
Like with a cactus or something. Yeah.
You listened to us on your toilet. I know we had that as well. We even personally in your own basement, in your dorm room. I mean, there's so many different places you can listen to us. It's crazy. But yeah, check us out. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Saturday we usually start roughly around 7 o'clock here, but we'll have more information on it. Check us out on Twitter to know more information about that. All
I
right.
mean, you can even enjoy us while you're sitting back and watching many different controversies, play out. And I guess one of those is one that we actually had an interesting story about when we first heard about this. This is a good transition.
I would like to put out the following disclaimer. The following things that we may mention are not opinions of WRHC and WRHZ, and that this is mainly what me and Dylan are speculating. We are not professionals. We know that this is a story because I myself watched the guy, but was kind of shocked to see the amount of backlash that came behind it and didn't even realize how bad it was until it actually started. So the topic we're at hand here is Logan Paul, and more specifically his recent video, his vlog, where he went to Suicide Forest is his nickname, over by Mount Fuji over in Japan, and well, how do I put this lightly? He showed a dead guy on his video. I will let you know that they blurred out his face, so you could not distinguish who it was, but that was pretty much about all that they blurred out. And,
A real dead person.
Yeah, and the weird part to me that didn't strike to me until later was that they really never took the situation seriously because they filmed the guy multiple times. You know, it was like cut to this scene or cut to that scene, or here's one of those like montages where the music's put in the background and whatnot, and just like, man, that he not only is he getting so much negative flack for it, and I'm supporting that flack, by the way, because it makes sense why everyone's upset at him, but just like, I never, it's insensitive. I don't really know how to put that. This is a new first one for me too.
Yeah, so Jordan and I, and we were both sitting around. I think we had just made some food, and we were watching random YouTube videos, and we saw this. I didn't really pay much attention, and when I saw them cut to the deceased person, the dead person in the suicide forest, I actually kind of assumed it was like it was a prop. I didn't think it was like an actual real person until my second view through. And at the time, neither of us really had anything, or I guess we just didn't realize what the video was, but it's very understandable why it got pulled. But I'll ask you this.
Here's
Jordan.
the thing, though, to correct you on that, it didn't get pulled by YouTube. It got pulled because Logan took it down because he knew after being #1 trending on Twitter and top 10 trending on YouTube that this was a really bad thing and he should probably take it down.
Well, apparently Google actually has gotten a lot of flack because they didn't remove it. They did look at it and analyze that it did actually break a few different parts of their terms of service and part of their like breaking their child friendly thing. Since you could view this on YouTube Kids, it was like one of the heavily promoted videos on YouTube Kids when it was at its most popular, as well as showing gore and things that were not appropriate by the YouTube license. So Google really probably should have removed this themselves sooner than Logan Paul did, but I don't know. What's your opinion on that?
Well, one of my main things that I'm not a fan of is that in this whole slew of events, I'm going to say it like I did before. I didn't realize that it was as serious and impactful as it was before, and I just take that upon myself to realize that. But one of the things that I thought was just a mind-blowing thing was that, this was a legitimate, person that ended up, going to the place as it's nicknamed for. And I think at the end of the day, one of my big things that I'm going to take out of this is that, YouTube definitely does not have a good place with their advertisements, and this is going to bite them. This is going to bite them really bad.
It's not going to be pretty, and to anyone, it's not going to be pretty to YouTube, to Logan Paul. And Logan Paul did state that he and he said this, I don't know how true it is, that they made the video originally to raise awareness of suicide and suicide prevention. We here on this show have both been, I know I have, I'm not sure to what extent Jordan has, but I'm pretty sure he knows someone that has been affected by suicide, and uh it is a very sad thing to happen, and suicide prevention is a very worthwhile endeavor, a very worthwhile cause to put attention towards, money towards. We do not condone suicide or any making fun of any of these situations. These are serious situations, and as someone who's been impacted by suicide and these sort of things, it really disgusts me on a personal level. And I know Jordan probably feels the same way as well. So we'd like to state that we do not condone things making light or making fun of suicide or anything of the sort.
Yeah, anything, and I have been impacted before, not me personally, but I know of friends and of family who have been impacted by this before. And I just do want to say there is help out there, and anybody that does need it, there is anything from your little friend that's right next to you as a neighbor to hotlines to charity organizations. I mean, you name it, it's there. Just go out and look for support, guys. You're not alone. We love you very much, and it should never resort to that particular area. But anyway, I do want to try not to go too far in the sad totem pole, so we're gonna bring it back up by sparking my rage of not liking PUBG. And
so it's gonna make me sad.
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
But anyway, there's more on that if you want to check it out. But really, I would never pursue to look for that video. So next thing I got on here is talking about PUBG. So PUBG officially was released. Woo! It's finally 1.0. It took them a year. Wow. Congratulations. And they're now on Xbox. That's really all that it was. Anyway, so PUBG is now looking to kind of go across other different platforms. I do want to mention something I thought was really funny. So they're on Microsoft's platforms, therefore PC and, of course, Xbox. So they're not on Sony yet because they haven't met the quality terms of their games yet, which I found immensely funny.
Wait, hold on. This is the same Sony that has released numerous 1- and 2-star games, like from their own distribution companies, on previous systems, that are saying that they don't want to release the most popular game on Twitch because of not passing their standards?
Yeah.
Okay. Good on you, Sony.
Welcome to Sony. But their main intention,
that's amazing.
To talk about really what the news story is behind it, is that PUBG is aiming to release on every platform that they have available. So, of course, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Windows,
the Switch,
the Switch, Wii U.
Just imagine that.
The Wii, N64.
Hey, that's GoldenEye. Basically,
that's not GoldenEye. That's not GoldenEye.
Basically.
They weren't set out in a distant island in a Russian territory and were like, I'm going to take you with my Mini 14.
One of the maps is literally a Russian island that you can battle at.
But you don't parachute into it and start out your mission like that.
You start out in it's semantics, Jordan.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to keep you straight. All right? Apparently I kept him so straight that he wasn't even watching.
I was going to say, not even going to touch that. Anyway, so we finally have this 1.0 edition of PUBG. And of course, Jordan and I here have been playing it ever since.
And it's not different.
When did we get the game? Around how long do you think we've both been playing PUBG?
We were about 4 months into when the game actually started. I think I have like 200 hours into the game.
And they did release a new map. That is one thing they did do.
Congratulations.
They've added a few weapons, a few different vehicles since the release 1.0.
Again, congratulations.
selling 1 million copies in its first 48 hours.
Again, congratulations.
I mean, that is a congratulatory thing. I mean, PUBG is
Half
not
of what
doing
I said
horrible.
was sarcastic, and half of what I said was not sarcastic. You have to figure out what was and what wasn't.
You just said both halves were not sarcastic or were sarcastic.
You don't know my story, Dylan.
I mean, I will admit, the whole being an early alpha, like I've mentioned before on the show why I wasn't such a big fan of Ark Survival, was for basically the same reason as to why, PUBG is kind of given me a sour taste in my mouth. But I'm actually really optimistic for PUBG here, and hopefully they can update, still get rid of a few bugs, and hopefully create an actual solid good game that they'll maintain and update for years to come.
Maybe it'll actually be playable for once. Oh, whoa.
Ouch. Someone's salty today.
Listen, I don't know. I'm not a fan of a game finally becoming 1.0 when it hit basically Steam charts as one of the best, most played games on Steam, on Twitch, insert spot here. And then the game is like, all right, we were going to release the Xbox. Here's that version. And then it still has some of the playtest bugs, server issues that we had from earlier. And there's so many different little aspects that I feel like could be improved with the game. But I'll acknowledge the fact that they're very successful. I'll acknowledge that they're one of the most successful Battle Royale games out there. But I would just like to see them improve more on the game, on the quality of the game, and see more about it. But I will say that what I'm going to mention here next is monumentally cool, and that is talking about the 3D replay technology. So for those of you that don't really understand this piece here, 3D replay is when, they use this as an example in a trailer in baseball. A guy has the camera showing behind the pitcher pitches the ball to the batter, and then 3D replay technology allows you to move that camera into any particular area and then watch that replay from that specific angle. And so now you have almost an infinite amount of possibilities in seeing that camera angle come out and increase your production value. PUBG is trying to be the first video game company that's creating these 3D replay technology so that you can watch your replays in, multiple different formats and not just have this 2D taste to what you see.
And honestly, that's really kind of a nice departure from other games, typically first-person shooter games. Usually when you watch replays, or I'll give a great example being Overwatch, usually what you have the ability to show replays of is very limited. Usually it's just, a few particularly impressive play of the games, usually all focused on you, and you don't have access to other people's. With what PUBG is doing with their innovative 3D capture is that you can go back and watch entire games, theoretically, watch entire games, move around the entire play field, get as many angles, get as many perspectives as you can, and really, it's probably one of the most free and open and fulfilling spectator or camera experiences that we've ever seen in video games, because it's not that common for gigantic maps like you see in PUBG, which is a pretty nice sized map, to have free reign to go around and really check out whatever you want to check out. Say you want to check out this big firefight in the bottom right of the map, go ahead. Say you want to watch just a tree in the middle of the map, just because you like that tree, go right ahead. It's your freedom, and that's something that you don't really get in a lot of games nowadays, or ever. So I really do want to commend them for this, hopefully, more common feature in the future.
It's going to bring a lot to their esports scene, and as much as I give them flack for how bad that scene is at the moment, with this game, and I watched this over thanks to H3 for getting their creator Brendan Green on, or AKA Player Unknown, onto their show. It was cool to listen to him talk about what his game plan is for the game going forward. And one of his big things was he's talking about optimization. He's talking about how to improve his game. He's talking about the esports scene. he wants to make this game a lot better than what it is right now. And he's getting the opportunities. He's getting his team. It grows by the day. He's getting more copies by the day, and companies are helping him out as much as they can. It's getting there. It's getting to the point where I almost like it, but I'm still not quite on that train yet. But his 3D replay thing is something I do want to just say is phenomenally cool, because if this is successful, this could potentially develop some really, really good production for esports scenes in the future. And if you can bring something like this to the table, that you could bring this 3D replay technology and really just paint the picture of what you want your viewers to see better and more efficiently, that's going to help you a lot. And I look forward to seeing what they can do with that, because this 3D replay technology can be a tremendous thing for people, as far as, the people I work with in Rocket League, to people in Overwatch. Heck, I don't know if this is possible, but even if you could do this in Super Smash Brothers, I would fall in love with that, because you could see the coolest different scenes, scenarios. There's minute details you may not notice beforehand. It's all about seeing little details in a production that make it a memorable scenario for someone to watch.
And of course, our hats off to the creators of PUBG and PUBG for having this crazy unique feature. And while Jordan may not be as maybe a little bit more critical of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds than I am, we also do have to acknowledge that it is the best-selling game on Steam this year, and that's where I think we're going to transition into this. Jordan, what do you think of the fact that PUBG is now a platinum certified game on Steam?
I mean, I always have my construction that I say that I'm not a fan of the fact of its success that it got. And the main reason I'm not a fan of its success is because of the fact that it has caused their game to stint in spots where they could use that opportunity to improve their game. They talk about this in that podcast, that their original alpha that got popular wasn't supposed to get popular, because that was the bad stage of the game. And so when the game started growing traction, it caused a big issue for them. I kind of wish that I could see this company in what it would be like if it became successful after a 1.0 release for PC and then eventually moved to Xbox. I would have loved to see what would have happened then. But live and learn. You see new things that come across it. I mean, this game eclipsed the 3 million mark, which is crazy to me to still think about it. The 3 million is the most concurrent users, by the way. I had to make sure if that was that, or if it definitely wasn't copies. They sold a lot more beyond that. But
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, along with that, I mean, they fought with Dota 2, Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six Siege, GTA 5. I mean, that's AAA development. You took your game that was a constructed idea, and technically speaking was just a mod of DayZ, if I remember right. I might be wrong on that one, but and just turn it into this game. It's a phenomenal feat, and I'm gonna respect the fact that they grew to have this much success. But I will say that I'm not a fan of how some of these things have panned out in terms of their success.
By the way, is there any reason why Dota 2 should, it's a platinum selling game. It sold a lot of copies, but can you really be a platinum selling game if you're a free to play game?
I mean, yeah, sure. If a person downloads it and has it operable on their computer, I mean, it just means that there's no cost to it, but their cost is probably into other things like crit. I think they have
and stuff like that.
Crates in that game, but yeah, microtransactions in general. So it's not like as if it's, for them to be a free to play is an issue. So I'm not going to bash them for any purpose beyond that.
Yeah, and I mean, Dota 2 is, the massive phenomenon it is, but also included in those platinum selling games, Witcher 3, Rocket League, Ark Survival Horror, Rainbow Six Siege. We also had some games that came out this year that have you played any of the following games I'm about to list off? Have you played For Honor?
Yep.
Have you played Near Automata?
I have not, but I know of the game. I have seen play of it, and that game is crazy, by the way.
It really is. And then you have some other ones like Fallout 4.
Yep,
Yeah, yep. Assassin's Creed Origins,
yep.
Civilization 6.
I haven't, but I know of the game.
Yeah, and these are gold selling games. These are games that have sold, I believe is it a million copies to be gold or is it half a million? I'm trying to remember the semantics on that.
I'm gonna claim it's a million, but I'm not 100% sure.
You can correct us, if we are currently wrong on this. But all those games, including Call of Duty World War II, Elder Scrolls Online, did very well this year. Some of the games that I'm more impressed, though, are some that came out this year that have sold roughly half a million copies, to my understanding. And some of these are great games that I think still have a bit of potential, or at least are games that are great for, single playthrough or they're unique concepts. And the two games that come to mind specifically for me are Cuphead and Resident Evil 7, which are two of my favorite games of the year for 2017, and also have become two of my favorite games of all time.
I agree. Cuphead, what to me was so cool to see what their traditional art style was. I will say that obviously, I wasn't necessarily a giant fan, but mainly because I couldn't beat the game. But that's just a personal opinion. To talk about the game itself, though, to construct a classic cartoon edge style game and to make it in a way that it is extremely difficult to play, but also it's not like as if you can just like truly rage at the game, though, I think is the way I'll put it. It's a game that its music, its scenery, and just your feeling in the game is just a really beautiful thing to go by, and it deserved its silver seller in Steam. But I think the crazy part, and I'll just point this out, Rocket League got platinum, so still one of my favorite games of all time, by the way.
It really has deserved it. I mean, it's become a big sensation. How does it make you feel knowing that some of these games that made it to platinum, while other games that I know you really particularly enjoy, like Farming Simulator 17, just kidding. But like Dishonored 2, Payday 2, games like those that didn't make it, that have not been platinum certified.
I'm not too butthurt about it, to be honest with you. Payday 2 has been out for many a years. It's starting to get to its stage where they're going to stop supporting that game soon, but rather just keep servers up. I mean, Dishonored 2 made the bronze list, and I was kind of shocked to see that part, I'll be honest. Watch Dogs 2 shouldn't have been in bronze to start with. People shouldn't have bought that game.
Watch Dogs 2?
The Division really didn't get a lot of sales out of it. They're not even on the bronze list, and I wonder if it's just because most people got burned
Division?
out at the start. Yeah, I don't see it on here.
No, they are. Second from the top on the left.
Second from the top on the left. In bronze?
Yeah.
Astroneer, Age of Empires. You said second from the left?
Yeah.
I got Farming Simulator.
It's below Darkest Dungeon, above Hollow Knight, and to the left of some game called Northgard.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not dumb.
Directions. We're directionally challenged.
Man, that's interesting because that game was in the same titles as Friday the 13th, which was just a genuinely broken game.
Still fun. But
NBA 2K18, which was just did not stop getting flack for their stupid microtransactions this year. Wolfenstein 2, oh, that's a bummer that they only got bronze. I was expecting higher, but it is what it is. And Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, yeah, I can see why that's bronze.
Wallpaper Engine. That's where I left.
Yep, exactly. Let's see. Silver, Cuphead, Sniper Elite 4. Yeah, I can see why that happened. Dead by Daylight, mainly because it had a giant trend going out. In gold, yeah, we had Civ 6, Fallout 4. I know some of these we already talked about. I was a little curious to see if there's anything else I missed. Dark Souls 3 making gold. I expected Dark Souls 3. I'll be honest. I didn't expect Fallout 4 after being out for 2 years to make gold. But, in bronze we have, let's see. I guess I could just say NBA 2K18.
Stardew Valley?
Yeah, making bronze was surprising too. I was expecting silver with that one. Because like Platinum, Ghost Recon Wildlands made out to be one of their platinum sellers. Like that's a little crazy to me personally.
And of course, this is measured by gross revenue.
Man,
so
why is Ark still here?
I know. Well,
Speaking of
here's my
games that
theory.
I'm not a fan of, is that Ark Survival Evolved. That game was just find your friend simulator for me. It's not my personal game, but I know it's a good game.
I mean,
it's Minecraft with dinosaurs. Yeah, if people are into that kind of stuff.
And I mean, I'm not going to give it crap for the fact that, it's a fun game. There were, fun aspects of it. Once I actually got in a game, I had more fun. But when I first played it, I played it on the Xbox. And that was probably the worst ever version of a game I have ever played. Because you had to actually manually sit there and look at a full lobby. And you had to keep refreshing until someone left. And then you had to click and try to join before someone else beat you.
That sounds like a fun game.
It's a horrible thing in a game. I mean, if you would have just put me in a queue, I would have been perfectly fine with it. But no, I had to manually look at my screen and just be like, all right, did someone quit yet? Let me refresh. Oh, someone quit. And then not get in because someone noticed before me.
What a
But
year.
hey, it's platinum seller, so whatever.
It must have done something right. Hey, yeah, I found. Okay, for some reason I found The Division finally. I found it before, but then I lost it, and then I found it again. Subnautica making bronze, Paladins making bronze. That's not surprising. Oxygen Not Included, guys. If you've never played Oxygen Not Included, that's a really fun game. Check that out for sure as well. I want to play more Don't Starve Together in the future. That game's a fun game.
It really is, and I think you would really enjoy the Fractured Butthole.
Watch your language.
No, it's South Park. It's
Still watch your language.
No, you can't make me. But a lot of games on this list I'm a big fan of. Some I'm not. But it was just a good thing to kind of go over.
Hold on. I know you said this a second ago. For some reason, when you said Dragon Ball Xenoverse, I thought that you were talking about and joking about the wallpaper engine for Dragon Ball Xenoverse, but no, you're talking about game.
No.
There's a flipping game called Wallpaper Engine that made Bronze Seller this year. What? What?
Yeah, I'm looking at the reviews right now. Apparently, it's overwhelmingly positive. It's a game, or it's a software in early access. It has Steam trading cards for some reason.
What?
Yeah.
That's too much. How does this have Bronze Seller on Steam? Come on.
It takes up 1,024 megabytes. That's the storage for it.
That's a gigabyte.
Yeah, so, fair. Bring your desktop alive with real-time graphics, videos, applications, or websites. Yeah, this is just this is just a software. Why is this on? Oh, hey, it looks pretty cool. I just got distracted. I was
reviews.
like, oh, what is...
The reviews are grand. Imagine if this was made by Stardock. You'd have to pay $10 a month for it. This is $4 and you get a lifetime license. Any questions? No. Good. Buy it now.
Some of these are great.
Makes your desktop look better without affecting performance. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to read that one on the radio station. But let's just say it involves sausage.
Speaking of which, Sausage Party came out this
Don't talk about that. Don't talk
about
that. You're not allowed to talk about that on the air.
What? It's just a really
Stop. We're not going to talk about one of the worst things I ever watched in 2017. That's like up there in my list of things that I wish didn't happen in 2017 was me watching Sausage Party.
But there, Jordan. We're in 2018 now, and Level Up Weekly is going to continue stronger than ever.
Yeah, but if we'd never talk about stinking, stop talking about what's, goodness gracious, my brain broke, Dylan. You talked about Sausage Party, now my brain's broken.
Don't worry, let me fix it for you because I have to do it. It's the first of the year, and we're going to go back to kind of look at what we've done in the past. If you remember when Overwatch came out, there was a big issue at the time that I feel like we have to mention of the first show of the year. If you remember, there was some Overwatch pornography that was, a big deal that Blizzard, the producers of Overwatch, had to, start taking down, start punishing. We've told this story a million times on the air, but I just feel like saying it again to have the ability to say the first show of 2018, we mentioned something that we mentioned on our first show back in 2016. Was our first show in 2016?
Something like that.
So, yep, we brought it up, and we've got to be running here low on time here, right?
We're making some time. I would just like to let all of you know that I just bought Wallpaper Engine.
What a great $4 investment you've made.
I'm not even kidding. This is actually legit. I'm going to find out if this game's legit. It takes a gig, so it's going to be a few moments, but I'll get back to you on that. I'll find out if this happens before our show finishes, but I just freaking bought Wallpaper Engine. What am I doing, Dylan?
Well, you're doing a great podcast, and do we have anything else we want to talk about before we wrap up here?
Well, we kind of talked about our personal favorite games for 2017. We talked about our future coming up here is Level Up for Charity, which again, don't forget, guys, save your calendars. Saturday coming up here in March and Saturday coming up in August, we'll be having our 2 charity events for Level Up for Charity. And of course, we'll still be checking to see. In March, we're still considering what the first one's going to be. If you would like to put in your hat in the ring and say, hey, you guys should check out this charity, see if you think it's pretty cool, tweet at us at Level Up Weekly. You don't have a Twitter, that's okay. Send a message or a comment over to us on Podbean. Email us, levelupweekly@gmail.com. Follow us all on Twitter. Do what you got to do. Just let us know what you guys think about it. And, of course, Tuesday is going to be the previous VOD that's going to show. You're going to see Thursday is going to be our live show over on Twitch. Twitch is going to be 3 days a week active now. That's our intention. We're hoping to keep that like a New Year's resolution, like you going to the gym right now instead of and listening to us while you're at the gym. Smart choice, by the way. But yeah, we look forward to this being a grand year.
And of course, if you have any feedback or would like to get in touch with us for any reason at all, you can find us at all of the places we listed at the beginning of the show. And one question that I do have for you, Jordan, about the year of 2017.
No, I haven't gotten a pair of Jordans yet, even though you have a pair of Jordans.
That's a great one. If you're over 6'3", you probably own a pair of Jordans. But do you, if you had to pick one game in 2017, or one game in 2017, that is your most played game, what would that be?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's about to be Wallpaper Engine.
I love the fact in the preview for this that you actually can turn it into a game. Like where you can drag sheep and it looks awesome. And for $4, we're just shilling out the Wallpaper Engine. But what do you think your most played game of 2017 was?
I already told you it's Wallpaper Engine. I'm just kidding. No, so my best game in 2017, I will say, I'm going to have this in a construction of different games here for a second. So Rocket League, because I got the opportunity to travel to different cities, to different locations, and be able to shoutcast this event. As always, it's one of my personal favorites. Excuse me. I enjoyed playing The Division once again. I'm glad that the new patches and updates have allowed it to become the game that they have wanted to have, and I'm very happy that I continue to keep playing it. Some other games that I could say on that list here for sure, Ghost Recon, I really enjoyed. Overwatch, I definitely enjoyed this year. Payday 2 with its few updates, but really I think it goes down to those being my personal 4 favorite is Rocket League, Overwatch, The Division and Ghost Recon, and now it's about to be Wallpaper Engine on the date that we recorded this. So just letting you guys know, yeah, it happened.
It just popped up on my screen. You're now using Wallpaper Engine.
How about you, Dylan? What were your personal favorites for this year?
Personally, I'd have to give a few particular games the nod here, and they were just for being such awesome single player experiences, being Cuphead, being just a great throwback to, playing Mega Man or run and gun games from when I was little, but with a new unique twist and art style. It's definitely a great game. Overwatch has been a return favorite for me. The fun experience of being able to do, even though they're linear games, still being able to learn different roles and put practical skills from all walks of gaming together. That's just one thing I really enjoy about Overwatch. But one of the games I would really have to give a nod to this year would be Resident Evil 7, which completely flipped the survival horror genre on its head, took the Resident Evil franchise, which I am a huge fan of, and turned it and brought it to the modern era, brought it to fit modern gaming sensibilities, to, appeal to a wider audience. And really, if not being my game of the year, is a very close contender.
Okay, I'm just letting you all know right now, Wallpaper Engine is actually kind of cool. I'm sorry, I just bashed everything you just said. I'm sorry about that, Dylan. But, you got to get this. It's $4. Get it.
I already have. I just got it.
But listen, okay, I'm going to stop distracting myself here for a second because I do want to talk serious for a moment. Guys, it has been an outstanding year. I could not thank you guys enough for helping us in what we have done this year. To be able to join WRHC and WRHC and to become one of the better viewed shows on their Thursdays has been an honor. To be able to continue hosting our own domain service, to be able to establish a brand and a platform and a place that we can raise money for kids and now for other branches in our future. I can't be thankful enough for what you guys have done for us, and it has been a privilege and an honor to be able to do this show for you guys on a weekly basis, and we hope to continue to deliver you guys excellent content here in 2018, whether it would be wherever you watch us from. We thank you. Would you like to add anything on that, Dylan? Go ahead. I wasn't sure if you wanted to add anything to that.
Nope. I just say tune into us next week. And do we want to kind of say right now what we think our next week topic is going to be, or do you want to leave that a surprise?
We'll leave it a surprise. I like to keep our guys guessing.
All right, but don't forget to tune in then, because just because we're not telling you what it is doesn't mean you don't have to tune in. So I think that's going to be good and wrap us up here. Any final thoughts?
We've already plugged it too many times. I'm not going to plug it one more time for you guys, but you guys know where to find us. Thank you so much for tuning in today, folks, and tune in next week for your level up experience.